Hi everyone, good morning. It's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to 60 and Me. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It's bright and sunny here, and even though it's freezing cold, I'm sure that you're all dealing with weather wherever you are in the world. But it's just wonderful to be alive on this planet. I just got back from a walk. I went out for first of my 10,000 steps, which I try to do every single day. And every day that I achieve it and succeed, I really feel better. So walking first thing in the morning for me is fabulous. I get out into the world and get to see nature in its kind of quiet state, before it gets sort of started with its day. I live near a lake, so the lake is super beautiful, just every day of the year. It has a personality, changes every day. But anyway, I came back, I have a cup of tea. I've decided to try a new one today. Here's my cup, and I just reached for my tea. It's called Megan und Darm tea. Can you see? Now, this is a German name. I bought this tea in Germany, and I have no idea I had no idea what it was, but it looked nice, and it was in the section of medicinal teas. And it's actually got anise and fennel, yarrow herb, caraway, chamomile, and it's very good for your stomach apparently. And I think that's an anise or lavender. I'm not sure what that flower is, but anyway, the tea's good. And there's a lot of teas now that are specifically designed for specific things like stomach or sleeping or calming your nerves or energizing. So this is a nice, easy, digestive supporting tea. And I've got that for my morning. What are you drinking today? You got a cup of tea or coffee? Maybe you're drinking juice, a smoothie, something fun. But anyway, whatever you're drinking, settle back because healthy aging, and why I drink these teas and why I'm so interested in them is something that I think about a lot, and I'm sure you do too. In fact, when we started 60 and Me, healthy aging or, well-being was one of our key priorities, is one of our key priorities. And so I often look out to interview different people who are doing wonderful things with healthy aging and just getting tips from them on from their experience what works. And I had the honor and the pleasure of interviewing a doctor named Dr. Bill Thomas several months ago. Now, Bill Thomas is a very well-known doctor in the United States. You probably may know of him. He actually was a doctor. He is a doctor. He's a geriatrician. He's a speaker, innovator, writer, author. He's written several books. But he's well-known for his, what do they call it? The Age of Disruption, the Age of Disruption tours that he does all across the United States. He has a big bus. He travels around. He does performances, including poetry, music, to really challenge our thinking about aging. And this is Dr. Bill Thomas. He's really cool. And the interviews are wonderful. I'll leave the link to the one that I'm referring to here. I think we did about 4 or 5 of them. So this one was really how to achieve healthy aging. And he's come up with a kind of a model which he uses called MESH, MESH. And that stands for moving, eating, sleeping, and healing. And so we sat down and chatted about this, and I wanted to go back through those 4 because even though we've heard it all before, we all know these are the things we have to do, he approaches it in such a lovely way. He's such an interesting man. So, move, M. Exercising, that isn't the key to healthy aging. Moving is. So you can walk, do steps, you can do exercises in the gym, but posture, balance, really important. So move in the big category. And he, of course, suggests 10,000 steps a day. This is at least, if he says, if you can get out and walk. Now, on your iPhone or on your smartphone, there's lots of apps where you can count the number of steps that you walk, as long as you've got your phone on you, of course. But I guess he reminds us that it's important to take some commitment to this and reminds us that our 75, 80-year-old person will really appreciate the decisions that we're making today. I had an interesting experience yesterday. I was out on a train trip with my meetup group, and we went to a beautiful town in Switzerland called Neuchâtel. It's near the French border, and we wanted to climb up to the top of the castle, which is a 12th century castle, or 13th century, 1200s castle. Beautiful, beautiful building. But you had to walk up maybe 200 steps. It was quite a lot of steps. And I did it, and I honestly was so proud of myself because I was breathing, but I wasn't like out of breath. And I was convinced that, my daily walking exercise helped. Anyway, he says you don't need fancy gym membership. Yoga, Pilates. Balance is critical, though. He mentioned this several times in our interview and said, as we get older, everything, we start to just shift our gravity, point of gravity. And the best thing he says to do, or one of the best things, besides doing balance exercises, would be when you're in the queue in a line somewhere waiting in the grocery store, just gently lift up on one foot. Just lift one foot up and balance on the other. Just see how many seconds. You might just stumble a bit and fall right back. But, do it while you're just at home, just making a cup of tea and you're just waiting for the kettle to boil. Just sit there, lift one leg, hold 1, 2, 3, and then down. I'm doing it while we're talking here. I'm practicing. Anyway, moving, whatever you do, move. The next one is eating. Dr. Bell, like so many doctors, warns us, no fad diets, please. We don't need fad diets because you always need a mixture of nutrients. So even if you're eating similar things every day, try to mix it up. Instead of broccoli every night, do some carrots or spinach or bok choy or something else. But he says, just eat a variety of food in moderate quantities. That's it. I love this about Dr. Bell. He is such a down-to-earth guy. And make sure that most of these foods, he says, are from plants. This is the number one thing you hear from most nutritionists, is that if you can get closer to the earth and to natural products, that's a better way to eat. Prepare meals thoroughly, thoughtfully, and eat mindfully. This is the thing. Just sit down, turn your computer off. I'm guilty sometimes, but turn your computer off, just sit back, relax, and just eat your food in a mindful way. Got a bit of hair just sticking out there, I can see. Want to be perfect. Anyway, so his advice is to eat mindfully and enjoy your food. Eat well. The S in MESH. So we've done movement, we've done eating, we're doing S for sleep. Now, Dr. Bill, of course, is an older person too, and he knows that, and he's a doctor, he knows that people have sleeping habits that change in their 50s and 60s. It just happens. It's not something that happens only to you. It's one of these things that we tend to have he had a word for it, but it's where you shift your sleeping rhythm. So instead of staying up late and partying, like maybe you did when you were younger, you go to bed earlier. You just tend to feel tired earlier, and then you wake up earlier. So if you go to sleep at 9 o'clock, you might wake up at 3 or 4. And that's kind of natural. Now, if you really don't like that rhythm, then you've got to start trying to stay awake a little later at night. A lot of people have a little nap in the afternoon, and then that helps them stay awake till midnight, and then they can wake up at 7 as they might want to. So anyway, I think he calls it sleep fragmentation too, where it's very natural as you get older to sleep in fragments, 9 to 10, 9 to 12, 12 to 3, and 3 to 6, whatever. So that's, again, very normal for our age group. And so he says, watch for sudden shifts and changes, and if it starts to really be an issue, then maybe you do need to take some melatonin or just some supplement to get you calmed down. Another thing, not to eat before you go to sleep. It's really disruptive. It gets your digestive system going. And of course, that keeps you awake. So watch for, just make sure you're getting enough sleep. And no matter kind of what segments, if you're getting enough sleep, you should be okay. But anyway, sleep is one of Dr. Bill's 4 very, very important ways to keep healthy aging lifestyle. The next one, the final one, is heal. And this was very sweet when I chatted with him. He said, I'm a doctor, but I don't heal anybody. He said, I don't do the healing. The person does the healing. He may set the foundation and give the right guidance and whatever. But he says, it's really natural for people to think someone else can do it for you. But you do it yourself. You really do, with your attitude and, yes, some medications and, and maybe an acceptance of our changing bodies as we get older. And Dr. Bill talks about this when he says, sometimes when people, like, for example, lose a limb, they have to have a leg amputated or something like that, or they lose a person in their life, they know after the original grieving that there's no turning back. And you have to just go forward. And that, I think, is part of the healing that Dr. Bill says is so important. It's not the medicine, it's not the operation, it's the change in your attitude to yourself and this new person. And we know this. I mean, we are aging, our bodies are aging. We are trying to, in our 60s, through communities like 60 and Me to really help to guide you through that transition. And then when you get to the other side, it's like the world of possibility. You are a new person. You don't really care so much anymore what other people think or whether they're judging, you in any way. It doesn't matter. You're just living life on your terms. So I think that's really important, as he says, to create a new normal. And that's the healing process. It's not the physical, it's the mental. It's a combination really of both. So that's our section here on healthy aging. And I hope that you found it useful. I really enjoyed my conversations with Dr. Bell, and I would suggest you go to our YouTube channel, just youtube.com/60andme, all words. And just look at our interview with him, Dr. Bell Thomas, and he hopefully that's given you some structure for thinking about healthy aging. So I'd like to ask you, which of those four things, movement, eating, sleeping, and healing, do you think that you need to work on the most? Or which one have you got under control? Anyway, I hope that's been useful. I really appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for your time and for all your support. I'd love to have your comments, though, in the section below as to which one of those four healthy aging practices you feel like you need to work on the most. And I really look forward to speaking to you all again soon. Have a fabulous day, everybody. Take very good care. Bye-bye for now.